Hi, welcome to another video. And this is yet another update video. I've done one on the upcoming gigs with Tom Moriarty, which is sort of going on at this present moment. Well, obviously not right now, but you know what I'm saying. And also the recent gig with Storm Daver. So as these updates are going, here's another one. So I've had a few emails and DMs and PMs and God knows what else about my own music. And I recalled back in July, I said the single Crimson would be out August. And I was like, you can put, take that to the bank or whatever. Well, good job you didn't, because that check would have bounced right back. It's just the usual thing, like I've said before, it just gets so busy. And when you're funding a project yourself and you're calling on the goodwill of others and so on, it's really difficult to get things done. And you've got your own bills to pay. So I'm getting, requests for masterclasses, for gigs, for teaching and recordings and stuff. It's hard to just say, unless you're a millionaire, to say, yes, I wiped the slate clean and my diary is clean. This is all about my music. It doesn't really work that way. And sometimes when you get the time off from working on other people's music, you don't really feel like doing your own because, mentally and emotionally and musically, you're kind of full. If there was a kind of liquid meter, it would be up to probably here. So it's not as easy as I sometimes would like to make it or make it sound. So, but what has been happening, me and Carolina are still working on the material. Crimson is vocally finished. Sounds fantastic. Really happy with it. There's another track called Colours of the Day, which we're working on, which I've floated on the internet like snippets of over the last couple of years. It's been written for a long time and it's been in the can, as they say, for a long time. But now the words are finally written and agreed between me and Carolina. We're both happy with how it sounds. We did a recording with Jay, our good man engineering. Jay Ty was at NARM Studios, which is like the moon base for us to work. And we got a vocal down and that was in the summer. And we're happy with it, but we may have to review it because Carolina's been busy, I've been busy. We need to go back, and I added a few extra things onto it that may change how the vocal goes, but we need to check that. And we're also working on one or two other songs to include on my upcoming album, whenever that will be. And I've learned my lesson now not to put any dates. So originally I did that back in July to really push myself to finish it. But as I say, then real life crashed in and there was all these requests to do stuff. And of course, bills have got to be paid, being a trend-setting rock and roll musician isn't what everyone thinks it is. So you have to go out there and pay them bills and get things done. And that's what I was doing. So the good news is, though, that in some of the downtime, I have been writing more. Now, Ian Smith, good friend on Facebook, said, will some of these shorts that I'm doing turn into songs? Well, maybe. At the moment, I can actually say no. But I have thought some of the ideas I've really, really liked. And I'm now going to be asking Carolina to be involved in some of the shorts as well. So instead of just using free vocal samples, we can build up a library of our own that we can add on top of the music, which is going to be good, which we could then later turn into a song if we like the idea. And I've done an update catch-up of my shorts, so I don't need to talk about that, but you might want to go down the list and just catch it. It was last week sometime. It would have been last Tuesday or Friday, I think I posted that. But, they're getting some nice traction. So there's some more ideas coming there. So, the partnership is still working. Jay is still involved in the mixing and the engineering side of the project, and it is still ongoing. And part of me thinks that this sort of, I don't want to say delay, because there's no record company demanding I get this out at a certain point. I can do this when I like. But maybe this coming in the late part of the summer, coming across this concept of putting the music to my drumming in my shorts and reels was a good thing. Maybe that was something that came along to make me think, right, you need to do this, you need to change it up. And some of the ideas could be used later on. I think, sometimes things in life happen for a reason and the universe does things in strange ways. And maybe this was meant to happen in this way. There's a delay for some reason. But Crimson will still be the first single to come out. I'm really proud of it. I think it's one of the strongest tracks, vocal tracks on the album, you know, what could be termed a song on the album. The rest are kind of soundscapes and vibes and trips, or whatever you want to call them. They're going to be a little bit different, but for the concept of a song, I think Crimson is one of the strongest. And as I say, Carolina's doing a great job on the vocals. We get together and we talk about, I tell her what this is about, and then I give her my lyrics. She laughs, and then we get our heads together and sort out a lyric that we're both happy with. And the fact is that we've both got a different concept of how a lyric should flow. It's good, I think, because we can spark off each other, and we're both raising each other's eyebrows on certain moments, and it's like, oh, ooh, yeah, that's a cool thing. So yeah, so that partnership is coming together really well musically. It's really happening. I'm very happy with that. It's developing. So yeah, so that's what's happening. And of course, like a lot of my friends who do this more than I do, meaning put out their own music, there's a whole host of things that, you know, I have thought about, but never really kind of digested 100%, which was the amount of time it takes, you know, to get it out up on the different platforms and all the various, you know, PRS and all the various things you have to go through and stuff, you know, PPL and all this, which has to be done. And again, I thought I had enough time to do it all. I thought, and of course you don't. You always need more time. So I think, again, that was another reason. My good friend Al Swanger, we did some trips playing with the band Grice, which were brilliant. I talked about those gigs. That was earlier on this year. And in our car journeys up and down to Exeter and back, you know, he was filling me in on a few sort of home truths of what needs to be done. And I was aware of it, but I'd never realised how much work was involved with all this documentation and getting things done, especially when you're doing it on your own. When you've got someone you can pay to do it for you, it doesn't matter, does it? Once again, it all comes down to time and money, you know, that's kind of the bottom line. And the reality is, for most, you know, side men, women, side persons, musicians, it's hard to do, you know, unless you've got the bank of mum and dad or something, or you've got a lot of money yourself. You know, it's kind of really hard to do that. So for most people, I think you'll find this kind of wave of productivity and then nothing, and productivity and then nothing, ending up with the end result. But the main thing is that, for me, I'm really proud of how this is working. I'm really happy to be working with the people I'm working with. I think the product, when it eventually comes out, will be the right thing. And the time it's taken, that's kind of taught me to shut my mouth a little bit and not promise dates and put it out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like people are saying, oh, with my money, they're waiting with their money to buy this stuff. No, but they're there with their interest, you know, and I don't want to lose their interest. Because in this day and age, that interest keeps you alive, you know, online and in people's minds. And if you disappear, you're kind of forgotten. So, you know, it does concern me that so many people very kindly have been asking where it is. And as I say, that was my own fault for saying it will be out August. Robert, you never learn. I never learn. So that's what's going on. So it's all positive. I'm afraid there'll be some more little teasers. I'll make a few more little videos like I did for the Crimson video, a video teaser earlier on this year. There'll be a few more of those things coming out, little snippets to give you an idea of what's going on. But as I say, the good news is the product will be right. It'll be sculptured the right way. It will sound the right way. There's a few more people I like to play on it. Al Swanger being one of them. He's offered his services on bass on some of the music. And I'm looking for some horn players. And guitar. So anybody out there watching this know Philip Pendleton, thank you. You threw your hat in the ring the other day, my man. Thank you. I haven't forgotten that, by the way. So yeah, it'd be great to work with a few more people. And Chris Payne from Gary Newman's band has thrown his hat in the ring as well, which is amazing, because I need to talk about the project that me and him are doing now, because that's out and about now, so I can talk about that. So yeah, amazing. It's all very exciting. So yeah, I'm not going to go back on saying sorry. It will come out. I'm really proud of the project. Carolina, I think, is really enjoying what she's bringing to the table. It's a different style that she would normally do, or she's known for. So it's all a positive. It's all a win-win. Just, guys, it's coming, and I'll keep you posted. All right. So I just wanted to talk about that because, yeah, as I say, people are asking, and it's a good question because I did promise a date. All right, so any questions, please leave anything you want to ask me in the comments below, or you can email me. The email is down below as well, so you'll be able to see that, so I don't have to do this again and get it slightly wrong. Okay, right, I need to shoot because I'm off gigging with Tom Moriarty over the next few days, so I need to check the set and get myself ready for that. So yeah, keep listening, keep watching, keep liking, subscribing and sharing, and that new music will be with you eventually. But I thank you for your patience, much respect that, and I hope you love it when it finally arrives in your ear holes. All right guys, take care and I'll see you soon.
Color me like, color me